back to the channel, everybody. If you're new here, my name's Khaled, and just 8 weeks ago I had surgery on my left ankle. This here is my recovery vlog series, and today I'm going to cover how my first physiotherapy session went last Wednesday, the plan in place until I see my doctor again in 3 weeks. And if you stick around, I'm going to give an overview of how my ankle looks and feels today, 8 weeks in. I'm going to discuss the swelling, the redness and the pain and overall feeling. So yeah, stick around, there's a lot of insights in that video. So 7 weeks marks my first physiotherapy session. I was very excited because I was finally going to get a structured program for my rehabilitation on my ankle. So I met with Kieran, who's my physio. He got up to speed with my surgery, the recovery so far, had a look at the wound, my range of motion, and then got me into some simple exercises just to try and increase the load through my calf and give me some expectations on what to expect in terms of walking and getting off the crutches before I see my doctor again. Yeah, so this first exercise is a double leg wall calf raise. Very simple, just trying to load my calf again by pushing up onto my toes, pressing my big toe and ball of my foot onto the wall while trying to build some foot flexion and preventing my ankle from wanting to roll or collapse outwards. I'm doing this one every single day, 5 or 6 times a day for about 10 reps, 5-second holds. So there's a lot of repetitions, just trying to load my calf as much as I can. It was difficult to start with because of the stiffness that's present in my ankle. But you know, over the course of the last week, I've been progressing quite well. I'm now able to go up to about 10-second holds, and there's even glimpses of single leg repetitions, but you know, I don't want to push anything too early just yet. My second exercise that I got is quite similar to the one I was doing already, except I'm now putting pressure on my left leg just to try and increase that load in the calf again. I'm doing this one 5 or 6 times as well for about 20 reps each time. I have noticed with this one, it's harder to do in the morning because of the presence of stiffness in my ankle. But you know, as the day goes on and at certain days where my ankle has increased activity, it's definitely easier to do compared to when I'm just resting. So this final exercise that Kieran gave me is to try bring some mobility back into my toes and foot. Both are very stiff and tight post-surgery. Just look at the comparison here of my right foot compared to my left. My right toes are capable of moving like independent of each other, whereas my left is very rigid and weak. I can't lift up as easy with my left as I can with my right. The purpose of the exercise is just to try and engage those foot muscles to catch the sock and lift it up. This exercise has been my hardest, and I don't feel I've progressed a lot in the 7 days of doing them, but I've got about 10% better. So, you know, there's definitely progress being made. So these exercises are solely to load the calf again and build some foot flexion so that when I do get on to walking without crutches, that I do have a good walking form. So Kieran told me, along with the exercises, it's time to move away from the crutches. That means he's given me instruction to go outside for about 10 or 15 minutes per day and walking in the boot without crutches. He also gave me some instruction to try walk outside without a boot and with the crutches, just to build up that confidence. That one is more difficult than with the boot because of the stabilization. And when you're in a runner, you know, your ankle needs to be stabilized more, balance comes into it, and because I'm very weak, I get a lot of pain. So I'm only really able to do about 10 minutes and I'm very low on repetitions with that. That being said, you know, look at these videos here. There's definitely times of the day where I'm able to put full load on that left leg. I'm able to walk with full flexion. So it's very clear that stiffness is playing a big part, and the elasticity in the tendons is playing a big part right now. So the introduction of these exercises has allowed me to become more active or more mobile. I'm able to get out of my apartment more. You know, I have an automatic car, so driving, because it's my left leg, you know, driving is very simple. So I'm able to visit people, but albeit not outside enjoying the sun, going on walks. But I am outside, you know, my family house, you know, enjoying the sun. I was able to get my first haircut in over, what, 8-9 weeks now, so I badly needed that. And I did get my dog his overdue haircut as well, so we're both happy. So that being said, I did have a reality check last Saturday. It was my 30th birthday this week, and me and my girlfriend went out for dinner on the Saturday into the city. So that's the first time I've been out, you know, socially since my surgery, and we were both very excited. We were out for about 5 or 6 hours, had some nice food and drinks, and within an hour or two I started to feel discomfort in my foot and ankle. Not really pain, but a very noticeable discomfort, and kind of felt swelling coming on. As I said, I was sitting for the most of it and only out for about 5 or 6 hours. But just take a look at how my ankle looked when I got home that evening or that night. You know, as I said, I was sitting for the most part. I didn't really have any pain, but after about an hour or two, you know, discomfort came on. I could feel my foot and ankle swelling a lot. So it was a bit of a worry, but the fact that I had no pain when I got home, it was just swelling. It's supposedly a normal part of the procedure in terms of recovery, but it was a real reality check that, 2 months into my recovery, I can't even go into the city for a couple of hours for dinner where I'm sitting for the majority of the time, just without any discomfort coming on. So yeah, I've still a long way to go. So moving back to a positive, Kieran also gave me the go ahead to get back into the gym. That's been an absolute boost for me because I've struggled mentally. As I said in an earlier video, I really underestimated this recovery, and yeah, getting back here and I can go back to the gym has been a great boost. I'm in gradually, doing some upper body. Majority of the time I'm sitting, can't really put weight through the leg in terms of like external weights. So trying to do a bit of cardio as well. As you can see in this video, I'm improvising with what I can, just try to get the heart rate up as much as I can, and also doing my physiotherapy in the gym. So it's given me a sense of normality. And with my friend's wedding now in July in the south of Spain, it's given me that motivation and pressures on to try get as best shape I can before the wedding. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So before I get into the video now on the overview of my ankle, one more thing I kind of want to talk about is those mental struggles. Speaking of the wedding, my friend who's getting married, his stag or bachelor party was this weekend, and I had to pull out last minute, so that's kind of a reality that, I'm still so early in my recovery that I can't go to social outings, as I spoke about a minute ago. My swelling after just going out for a couple of hours for dinner, it's very cumbersome, and the burden of the recovery is still very much there. I'm hopeful that maybe in another month I can, do some more social outings, but as of now, can't go to the stag do. I had to miss out on that fun. And also United, the football team I support, are playing the final in Spain next week. Would have loved to go to that as well. So if I was healthy, I would have gone to both of those. So yeah, it's a bit of a burden, but there's not much you can do. Only if you're in recovery right now, just try focus on what's down the line in 6 months. As I said, I have a wedding to focus on. If you've got something to focus on, know that these ones that you're missing are only a small amount in your life. So yeah, keep going. So with that now, just take a look at this 2 or 3 minute video of me like going through how my ankle looks and feels right now, and then we'll close up. So it's exactly 8 weeks since my surgery, and it's 10:30 a.m. I've done my first round of physiotherapy already, and I did my contrast therapy, and there is still a very noticeable redness in my left foot. The redness did start above my knee, then after a couple of weeks went below my knee to midway through my lower leg, and now it's kind of from about here down. So it's definitely on the way out, but still very noticeable. In terms of the swelling, as you can see, my bones here, still can't see them on my left foot. Sometimes, depending if I have my foot elevated, I can see them, but for the most part, it still looks like this. Swelling in the ankle has not gone down at all. It's all around, and depending on how much I've aggravated my foot by walking and activity, will determine how much swelling is in my foot as well. Swelling does go all the way around. This is what the wound looks like 8 weeks in. Swelling goes around to the back. There is still discoloration, some purple from the circulation, but it's not as bad as what it was. And that's about it for look wise. You can see there's a very noticeable difference still 8 weeks in, so still a long way to go. In terms of feeling, you can kind of see my right toes, if I show you, my right toes can kind of move independent of each other, but my left toes are very rigid and move together. In terms of pain, I do have irritation still in the 2 small toes, bit of numbness. Numbness runs here, kind of runs around up to the wound, and stops about there. Now, 8 weeks in, I'm a bit nervous as to whether I actually have done damage to the nerve, but it's something I'll discuss with the doctor in 2 weeks. But yeah, the numbness runs right here, comes back to me, I can feel that, but it runs kind of like around. Here's numb and stops about there. There's still a bit of pain here from tightness in these muscles with my toes when I'm doing my exercises. There's a bit of pain in the front of the ankle, not too severe. There's no real pain on the side here at all. Bit of pain in my Achilles, but I don't know whether that's just from inactivity and increased activity now. There's pain where the brevis tendon finishes, like it's about here. Very noticeable pain, especially when I'm doing the exercise. Like that's even uncomfortable to touch, a bit painful. Right there, yeah, that's painful. That runs back. There's no real pain in the back of the tendon where they actually did the repair, which is funny. Very focused pain right here, or local pain here. Feels swollen as well, so it's something I'm going to discuss with my doctor. Bit of pain or discomfort right there as well. And that's where the peroneus longus tendon actually runs underneath. Now remember in my earlier videos I said they found tendinopathy in that tendon as well, which they repaired. So I wonder, is that related to this kind of pain I'm feeling here? Again, something I'll discuss with my doctor when I see him. Otherwise, there's a bit of stiffness here, the back. Yeah, stiffness all around, I would say. No real stiffness in the base of my foot or up here anymore, but still a real tightness there. So overall, progress has been made, but still a long way to go. So that's it for this update. Thanks for following along. If you're on a recovery journey right now, drop a comment and let me know how that's going for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.